Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. English Channel, where learning English is easy and fun. I'm Emily.
And I'm Paul. Hello, Emily. How are you today?
Hi, Paul. I'm great, thank you. How about you? Are you good?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. It's a beautiful day for our podcast. I'm happy to be here.
Me too. I love talking to our friends, our listeners. And today, Paul, we have a very interesting topic. It's a big one.
Oh, yes. I think many people want to know about this. Are you ready?
I am. But first, before we start, let's ask our friends to do something very important. What is it, Paul?
Yes. Please, everyone, if you like our channel, subscribe. Click the subscribe button. It helps us a lot.
Yes, subscribe to Mr. English Channel. And also, please share this episode with your friends. Share it on social media. Help us reach more people.
And don't forget to give us a like, a big thumbs up. It's very important for us to know you like our content.
Yes, hit that like button. And later, at the end, we will ask you to leave a comment. Okay, so Paul, today's topic is about speaking English like a native. Wow, that sounds big, right?
It does sound big, Emily, but it's a wonderful goal. Many people want to sound like a native English speaker. It means speaking very naturally.
Yes, exactly. Like someone who grew up speaking English. But for beginners, like our listeners, what does it truly mean? What can they do?
That's a good question. For beginners, speaking like a native doesn't mean having a perfect accent right away. No, it means speaking clearly, understanding natural phrases, and using common words.
Ah, I see. So it's more about natural communication and less about perfection, right?
Yes, exactly. It's about being comfortable and confident and using words that native speakers use every day. It's about sounding natural, not perfect.
That's a great point. So, what is the first tip we can give to our listeners today, Paul? How can they start their journey to sound more natural?
My first tip is simple. Listen, listen, listen. Listen to native speakers as much as you can.
Oh, I love that tip. Listening is so important. What should they listen to?
Everything. Listen to English music. Watch English movies or TV shows with subtitles at first. Listen to podcasts like ours.
Yes, like ours. So, listening to how native speakers talk helps you understand their rhythm, their intonation.
Yes, exactly. You hear how words connect, how sentences sound. You hear common expressions. For example, a native speaker might say, "What's up?" or "How's it going?" instead of just "How are you?" all the time.
That's true. What's up is very common. So when you hear these phrases, you start to remember them, and then you can use them too.
Yes, it's like your brain is collecting new words and new ways to say things. It's very important.
Okay, so listening is tip number 1. What's next, Paul? After listening a lot, what should our listeners focus on?
My second tip is don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is very important, Emily.
Oh, yes, this is a big one. Many people are afraid to speak because they fear making errors. But that's how we learn, isn't it?
Exactly. Think about a baby learning to walk.
They fall many times, right? But they keep trying. Learning a language is similar. You will make mistakes, and that is okay. It's a part of the process.
Yes, mistakes are proof that you are trying. They are not bad, they are good. They show you are practicing.
Yes, and native speakers make mistakes too. We sometimes say, or like, or stumble over our words. It's natural. So don't aim for perfection. Aim for communication.
That's very encouraging, Paul. So speak. Even if you are not sure, just try.
Yes, speak every day, even if it's just to yourself. Talk about your day. Talk about what you see around you.
That's a good idea. So talking to yourself is a good way to practice without pressure.
My third tip is focus on common phrases and expressions. Don't just learn single words. Learn groups of words.
Oh, this is excellent. Like, instead of just learning hello, learn how are you doing or nice to meet you.
Yes, exactly. Native speakers use these chunks of language all the time. For example, it's raining cats and dogs means it's raining very heavily.
That's a fun one. Raining cats and dogs. And it's not literal, of course. It's an idiom.
Yes, and you learn these from listening. And then you can practice using them. It makes your English sound more natural, more fluid.
So it's not just about grammar rules, but also about how people really talk?
Yes. Think of phrases like, take it easy, meaning relax or goodbye, or no problem, meaning you're welcome. These are very common.
I use no problem all the time. It's so natural. So our listeners should try to find common phrases and try to use them.
Yes, and a good way to find them is from the listening we talked about earlier. When you hear a phrase many times, write it down. Then try to use it.
That's great advice, Paul. So we have listening, not being afraid of mistakes, and learning common phrases. What's next?
My fourth tip is focus on pronunciation, but don't obsess over it.
That's interesting. What do you mean by don't obsess?
Well, some people try too hard to have a perfect native accent. But many native speakers have different accents, right? American, British, Australian, Canadian, they are all native speakers, but sound different.
That's very true. So it's not about sounding like one specific type of native speaker.
Exactly. It's about being understood clearly. Focus on pronouncing words well enough so people can understand you easily. Don't worry about sounding exactly like someone from New York or London.
So clear pronunciation is the goal, not a specific accent.
Yes. For example, the th sound in the or think can be difficult for some learners. Practice it so people understand you, but don't worry if it's not exactly like a native speaker's th. Just make it clear.
And how can they practice pronunciation?
Listen and repeat. Listen to a word or phrase and then say it out loud. Record yourself if you can. Listen to your own voice. Compare it to the native speaker.
Oh, recording yourself is a great idea. It helps you hear what you sound like, and you can correct yourself.
Yes, it's very helpful. And remember, practice little by little. Don't try to change everything at once. Small steps are better. So, Emily, what's your next tip for our listeners on speaking like a native?
My next tip is learn about slang and informal English.
Oh, that's a good one. Native speakers use a lot of slang.
Yes, slang is informal language. It's not usually in textbooks, but native speakers use it every day, especially with friends. For example, chill out means to relax.
Yes, chill out. Or what's the plan? Instead of what are we going to do?
Exactly. Or it's awesome for it's great. Slang makes your English sound more natural and current.
But is it okay for beginners to use slang?
Yes, but with care. Start by understanding it first, then try to use some common and appropriate slang in informal situations. Don't use slang in a formal setting, like a job interview.
That's a very important point. Know when to use it. Slang is for friends, for casual conversations.
Yes, and a good way to learn slang is by watching movies and TV shows or listening to popular music. You'll hear it a lot.
And sometimes slang words become very popular for a time, and then they change. So it's a living language.
Yes, it is. So knowing some common slang can help you understand native speakers and sound more natural yourself. What's another tip for our wonderful listeners, Paul?
My next tip is think in English.
Wow, that sounds a bit hard for beginners. What do you mean by think in English?
It means trying to form your thoughts directly in English instead of thinking in your native language and then translating.
Ah, I see. So instead of, I want to say this in my language, now how do I say it in English? It's more like, what is the English word for this directly?
Yes, exactly. When you see a cat, don't think of the word in your language first. Just think cat.
That sounds like it takes practice. How can our listeners start doing this?
Start small. For example, when you are looking at things around your house, name them in English in your head. Table, chair, book, window.
Oh, that's a good exercise. So you're training your brain to connect directly to the English word.
Yes, and when you want to say something simple, try to form the sentence in English in your head first, even if it's just a few words. I am hungry. It is sunny.
This helps you speak more fluently because you don't have that extra step of translation. It makes you faster.
Yes, exactly. It builds fluency. It's like creating a direct path for English in your brain. It takes time, but it's very effective. Okay, Emily, what's your next great tip?
My next tip is imitate native speakers.
Imitate? Like copy them?
Yes, but in a good way. Listen to how a native speaker says a sentence with their intonation, their speed, and then try to say it exactly like them.
Oh, this connects to the pronunciation practice. So it's not just the words, but the way they're spoken.
Exactly. For example, if you hear someone say, "How are you doing today?" Listen to the rise and fall of their voice, then try to copy that pattern.
So it's about the music of the language. English has a specific rhythm.
Yes, some words are stressed more than others. The voice goes up or down at the end of a question or a statement. Copying these patterns helps you sound more natural.
And where can our listeners find good examples to imitate?
Movies, TV shows, podcasts, YouTube videos. Choose a short sentence, listen carefully, pause, and then repeat it, trying to match the rhythm and intonation.
This sounds like a fun exercise. It's like being an actor, right?
Yes, kind of.
You're practicing not just the words, but the whole performance of speaking. It builds muscle memory for your mouth and tongue. Paul, we have talked about many things. What else can our listeners do?
My next tip is use fillers and hesitation markers.
Fillers? Like what? You know?
Yes, exactly. These are not mistakes. Native speakers use them all the time when they are thinking or pausing.
Oh, that's so true. When I'm speaking, I sometimes say, when I'm trying to find the right word.
Yes, and it sounds very natural. If you always speak perfectly, without any pauses or fillers, it can sometimes sound a bit robotic or unnatural to a native speaker.
So using like, you know, or I mean, can actually make you sound more like a native speaker?
Yes, in moderation, of course. Don't use too many, but a few here and there are very natural. It shows you are thinking in real time. It buys you a little time to think of the next thing to say.
That's very helpful. So it's okay to pause and say, let me think.
Yes, exactly. Or, well, I think it makes your conversation flow more naturally. It makes you sound less like you are reading from a script. Emily, do you have another great tip for our friends?
Yes, I do. My next tip is read out loud.
Reading out loud? How does that help with speaking like a native?
When you read out loud, you are practicing speaking. Even if you are just reading words from a page, you are forming the sounds, moving your mouth, and saying the words.
Ah, so it's like practicing your mouth muscles.
Yes, and you can pick any English book, newspaper, or article. Read slowly at first. Focus on clear pronunciation.
And this can help with fluency too, right? Because you are connecting words and sentences together.
Yes, exactly. You are building your speaking rhythm. You can also hear yourself and notice if something sounds strange. It's a low-pressure way to practice speaking.
And if you don't understand a word, you can stop, look it up, and then continue.
Yes, it combines reading comprehension with speaking practice. It's a very good exercise. It helps your brain and your mouth get used to speaking English regularly. Paul, we've covered so many tips. What's one more important thing our listeners should remember?
My last tip is be patient and consistent.
Oh, this is so important for any learning journey.
Yes, becoming fluent and sounding natural takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories.
Yes, every new word, every new phrase you use correctly is a victory.
And consistency is key. Practice every day, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes. Small, regular practice is better than long, infrequent practice.
So, don't give up. Keep trying, keep practicing.
Exactly. If you follow these tips consistently, you will see progress. Your English will become more natural, more fluent, and you will understand native speakers better.
That's wonderful advice, Paul. It all comes back to consistent effort and having fun with the language.
Yes, have fun. Enjoy the process. Learning English should be an enjoyable journey.
Wow, Paul, what a great episode. We talked about so many useful tips for speaking English more naturally, like a native.
Yes, Emily, I hope our listeners found it helpful and encouraging. Remember, it's about communication, confidence, and consistency.
That's perfect. So, dear listeners, thank you for joining us today on Mr. English Channel. We really appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for listening. And please, if you liked this episode, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It helps us so much.
And share this episode with your friends who are learning English. Let's help more people learn and grow.
And finally, please leave a comment below this video. Tell us, what is one new English phrase or slang word you learned recently? We love to read your comments.
Yes, tell us what you learned. Or what tip from today's episode you found most helpful. We can't wait to read them.
We'll be back soon with another fun and informative episode. Until then, keep practicing your English.
Yes! Keep learning, keep speaking. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.